Greater light, greater light for whoever here with me. Greater light. I'm gonna get right to it. This is just some continued research and development going on this evening. That's all this is. I'm gonna be doing some screen shares. I just realized for the ones with all the great knowledge, the so-called master teachers, the ones who teach us about the masters, they know that they're not masters. But they teach us about the masters and how sometimes wrong information is just wrong information, and you'd have to study to show thyself approved unto God, not to man, not to a teacher, not to your teachers. Everybody in life can be a teacher to you, but you have to study to show yourself approved unto God so that you can rightly divide the word of truth. So in my live earlier, I showed my son's ultrasound from 1991, right? And how, as long as I've had this ultrasound, I never considered or even thought anything of the name on my son's ultrasound for the hospital, because all I know is I went to Emory. I didn't think nothing of this name. Graduate alumni of Transylvania, and I swear I thought Transylvania was on the other side of the museum world. I didn't know Transylvania was right here in the United States. I just learned all this today. I'm going to do some extracurricular research of Crawford Williamson Long, whose name is on the corner of my son's ultrasound, a hospital that put people to sleep with ether. Here's the wrong, unsound, definitely not right reasoning, research and development of ether. We have been taught that we are non-ether beings. Ether takes you to a form and a state of forgiveness. So there, it's not that we were lied to. We just thought it meant something good to be a non-ether being because somebody told you so. Non-ether would be the highest form of forgetfulness, and anesthetics put you straight to sleep based on the research that was done out of Atlanta way before the 18 somethings. Let me ask y'all, what do you think? What do you think the reason is they gave Elon Musk that $56 billion. He already a billionaire, right? He's already over everything, Tesla and everything. They really think they gonna get out of here. When he broke the sound barrier the other day with heavy, and it didn't blow up this time, didn't fall out the sky, according to Revelations, the bruise that it got the first time, it was successful this time. The great dragon that went up and broke the sound barrier. And he's ecstatic. I don't know what Joe Rogan over there bragging about it for, because Joe Rogan, you ain't getting out of here. Huh? As a matter of fact, because your fear tactics didn't work through the community, you definitely getting left behind. You think because you've been doing late night pillow talks with Elon Musk. Elon Musk ain't thinking about you. So you can sit there with your mouth open. Y'all know how to these streamers, the ones who work for Gog and Magog, how they sit there with their mouth open. Cause Elon know he be over here. He come over here personally and listen to me, y'all, just to see how quickly I'm awakening. The highest form of etheric gas puts you to sleep. As a matter of fact, the research and development of this name, Crawford Long, that is on the corner of my son's light code in ultrasound from 1991, June 28th, 19, it's something significant about that June 28th. I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger on that June 28th. There's something. Oh, wait a minute. Ain't that Elon Musk? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, it's June 28th. I think that's Elon Musk code date. Anyways, this light code was taken June 28th, and Crawford Long, his name on there, his research and development, the amount of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen that he used to experiment on anesthesia of forgiveness and putting people to sleep, the digits within the codes add up to 9. So if a person is a 6 ether being, they have more connection and memory and haven't forgotten their history. That's why they can go back and say, oh, see, our grandparents wrote in the 1700s. See this writing right here? But we can't find none. We're in a state of forgiveness, the 9 ether beings, based on the research and development that came out of Crawford Long. Again, this name on my son's ultrasound. Remember, I showed y'all my son's live birth with the golden seal, 1,000 golden seal. But this right here, his name, and it says Crawford Long Hospital. When I went there in 1991, it wasn't named Crawford Long Hospital. So why is his name on my son's information? So here it is. I'm going to take you on a journey. Let's read about Mr. Crawford Long, a graduate of Transylvania in Kentucky. Hello, Latrell Tinwell. Greater light to you. a graduate of Transylvania. So let me get started. I really don't want this background in my ear. Thank you, Delia. I appreciate you, but I'm not feeling that right now. All right. Anybody close to the area of the hospital, there's going to be some major event that's going to happen because, or wherever the heart of Transylvania is, it's going to have to crumble. Uh, and the thing about anybody who's been dealing with me, anything that I believe in has been coming forth. I don't know because it's already written. It's written. It was written before the foundations. It was already here before I got here. So it ain't like I'm doing nothing fancy or nothing. It was here already. Here it was already written. It's already written that the foundation of Transylvania is supposed to be blown up to smithereens. The the foundation of forgetfulness is supposed to be exposed. All this is already written. Now here, let me go ahead and, like I said, read. Keep my mind balanced. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm. Look at his eyes. Because I know God has provided the perfect solution. Danielsville, Madison Count, the bridges of Madison Count, Elizabeth Long. Look at these names. What is your name doing on my son's ultrasound, huh? When the hospital was changed to Emory. Crawford Williamson Long, November 1st, 1815 through June 16th, 1878, was an American surgeon and pharmacist best known for his first use of inhaled sulfuric ether as an anesthetic. Long was born in Danielsville, Madison County, Georgia, on November 1st, 1815, to James and Elizabeth Long. So his mother and father was named James and his mother was Elizabeth. His father was a state senator. There are the senates. He was a state senator, a merchant, and a planter. So in 1815, his state senator daddy was a merchant and a planter. He was we are farmers. He was everything. Uh, I'm the merchant, I'm the bank, I'm the planter, and the state senator. And named his son after his close friend, after his boyfriend, Georgia's statesman. So his boyfriend, Mr. James Long, his boyfriend was a Georgia statesman, William H. Crawford. Let's see who this being is. Okay, and he was a Secretary of War. Oh, so he held the same position that Lloyd Wicks Austin out of the heart of the antebellum holds. Huh? He served as U.S. Secretary of War and U.S. Secretary of Treasury. Oh, see, they controlled everything. They controlled the merchandise, the plant life, the war, the treasury, and he ran for president in 1824. William H. Crawford. So he was named after his daddy's boyfriend. By the age of 14, he had graduated from the local academy and applied to the University of Georgia in Athens. It was here he met and shared a room with his boyfriend, Alexander Stevens. Oh my goodness, he looked like he was on it bad. He looked like he was on it. Who was Alexander Hamilton Stevens? Was an American politician who served as the first and only vice president of the Confederate States from 1861. They say, yes, we is going to put these niggas to sleep. And then we going to teach somebody to tell them that they is ether beings. They are etheric because we have swiped and wiped their memories. He's the first vice president of Confederate States from 1861 to 1865, and later as the 50th governor of Georgia from 1882 until his death in 18. A lot of them movies that they be making be right about him, huh? He died right after he became the 50th governor of Georgia. So the Confederate Party and the Democrat beings are the same people. Okay. See, I knew that. I knew that, but I don't know how many people who can't remember know that. They be proud to be a demo crazy party. During the American Civil War in 1835, he received his A&M degree, his AM degree, uh, his morning. He began study at Transylvania College. Like I said, I didn't even know anything about a Transylvania over here. There's the tradesmen, Levin men, in Levin men Elo. Transylvania. I tell you, every time I went to Kentucky, some feeling that I had in Kentucky made me not want to be there long. I used to want to hurry up and get out of Kentucky. Everywhere I looked, there was Confederate flags in Lexington, Kentucky. Pull into the Walmart in Kentucky, every other car had a Confederate flag on it. I'm not lying, exaggerating. I'm not making it up or elaborating. It was a scary type of feeling passing through, and them back roads and hills and cuts in that big old truck going through Pennsylvania, all the Vanias. He began his study in Transylvania College in the fall in 1836 in Lexington, Kentucky. Here, Long was able to study under Benjamin Dudley, a revered, if he's so revered, they don't have Benjamin Dudley name to hyperlink. Benjamin Dudley. I went to school with a dude named Dudley. Revered surgeon. He observed and participated in many surgeries and noted the effects of operating without anesthesia. Long transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. He went to each Vania, in Philadelphia after spending only a year at Transylvania College, and was exposed to some of the most advanced medical technology of the time. It was the most advanced in the early 1800s, enough to put people asleep and have them think that they are nine ether beings. Uh, After an 18-month internship in New York, Long returned to Georgia. Georgia, he took over a rural medical practice, Jefferson Jackson County, in 1841. After observing the same physiological effects of diethyl ether, and they put in quotations and parentheses, ether, that Humphrey Davy had described for nitrous oxide in 1800, Long used ether for the first time March 30th, 1842, to remove a tumor from the neck of a patient, James Venable. He administered sulfuric ether on a towel and simply had the patient inhale it. He performed many other surgeries using this technique during the next few years, introducing the technique to his obstetrics practice as well. Long subsequently removed a second tumor from Venable and used ether as an anesthetic in amputations and childbirth. When they had never really truly needed anesthesia for childbirth, they started using anesthesia for childbirth so they could take and switch out babies. And they said, oh, it's getting this good, we're going to advance and not just use it on childbirth. Let's see how much we can take and pump little by little into beings till they forget. Let's totally forget. I was under surgery. I had what happened during the surgery? No, you was put out. So it was meant not for you to remember. Oh, here's an update. I got an update for people. I must veer off for a little bit. Take a minute and come off. See, I knew it was a reason why I wanted to stop eating chicken as much as I love chicken. And then every time I eat the chicken, I get sick. When I was first transitioning off of the meat. So every time I try to eat some chicken with my grands and all that, and I just said, no, we ain't doing that. We just not doing it because it's making grandma sick. Because I used to love me some chicken. But guess what? Last month, here's their scientific research and development on meat. Usually when there's salmonella in the foods, they pull the foods, right? Well, what they've been doing with the chickens and the animals, if they find that they have salmonella, they have been just making sure inject them until they no longer see the salmonella and then send the foods out for the people to still eat. No, it's in their federal register. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Hold up. Let me find it first. Stationary. I just saw it a minute ago. I was like, wait, what? As I was looking at ether and understanding what type of places that ether can be found. Ether sulfide, ether fluoride, ether, all the ether salts, bath salts. Remember, you built real good on them bath salts and ether, Latrell Tinwell. I never forget. Where is the thing about the chicken I just seen? Uh-huh. Endangered species, Lasis lupine, shaggy hairs, Florida, final decision, run cooperative, quarterly. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Look. Components sampled by FSIS into finished NRTE breaded stuffed chicken products so long as such products remain under the establishment control pending test results. Elderly and immune compromised individuals, even when the salmonella is no longer detectable in the body. It says salmonella not ready to eat breaded stuffed chicken products. USDA. Look, they put 13 original colonies. They put the first colony in forming it. Stuffed breaded chicken, meaning the chicken is what's contaminated, not the bread, not whatever they stuffed it with. Salmonella at levels sufficient to cause high risk of human illness when consumed. Yeah, to say they added some substances and kept testing it until there was no longer detecting the salmonella. See, here's the studies. They continued to study. See here? All a research and development, and they have the right to do all these studies because you are a patient of the United States. Again, you are no longer property. You are no longer people. You are no longer persons under the CHIPS Act and everything that they're about to do and throw down with. You are a patient. Look, it says it reacts inflammatory bowel disease, reactive arthritis, irritable bowel syndrome. That this salmonella studies that they was doing say even cause death, mess with the heart, the lung, the bone, the joints, the central nervous system. Back to the central nervous system and this William Crawford Long studies. Let me get back to William Crawford. I just had to take a break and come over just in case I forget to tell y'all about the chicken. Uh, so the chances that you eating chicken that hasn't been infected with salmonella is little or none. All of the animals and species that have salmonella that's at risk, what they do is continue studying and pumping until the salmonella is not detectable. They don't get rid of it, they don't throw it away. They just hook it up. So eat, drink, and be merry. All right. Nope, that's not what I'm supposed to be reading. Let me get back here. Long subsequently removed a second tumor from Venable. That sounds like some demon name, and used ether as anesthetic in amputations and childbirth. Despite his continued use of ether anesthetic, Long did not immediately publish his findings. The result of these trials were eventually published in 1849 in the Southern Medical and Surgical Journal. Original copy of the publication is held in U.S. National Library of Medicine. Should I go over there and read it? Should I go look for it? Mm. Crawford Long was a member of the Demosthenian Literary Society. They are the demons. Where's this house at? The University of Georgia. English speaking world was founded in 1803. What? What that say? It say the demons ethos English speaking world was founded in 1803. Extemporaneous debate of the University Georgia in Athens. See, I told you everything on the other side of the earth is museum, what you call it, tourist attractions. They weren't even supposed to have wars over there. All that stuff over there was supposed to be tourist attractions. The real Athens was over here. The real Transylvania is over here. How the real Alvernia was over here. Huh? The real Jerusalem is over here. Everything is on this side. On the other side was just supposed to be tourist attractions. And they flipped the script and made you forget with some William Crawford Longson, Transylvanian ether memory eraser. Crawford Long was a member of the Demosthenian Literary Society while a student at the University of Georgia. Look at their Constitution of Justice, huh? Long was also a cousin of the Western legend Doc Holliday. Oh, so his cousin was the one who did the gambling. He was the one, his cousin Doc was, oh my goodness, there's a guy here in this town that I'm in that used to come by the shelter. You know where the shelter at, Latrell Tinwell. And he said he used to work for Doc Holliday. I'm not making it up. And he said, do you know who Doc Holliday is? And I was like, no, I don't know who Doc Holliday is. And every week he came by to see me with Mr. What was that man name? They would come every Friday and like bring donations to the shelter. But I would happen to be out there sitting down. I cannot remember this man's name. And he said, do you know who Doc Holliday is? He said, well, I grew up in right behind, no, next door, down the street or something. And I used to work for and play in the yard of Doc Holliday. And I was like, oh, okay. And the reason why he would hold conversations with me because we started talking about coins. And I used to like to collect coins. My father tried to have us be coin collectors. As a matter of fact, I had bought a, what you call it, metal detector and started teaching my granddaughter to look for coins and stuff on the land. So this is who Doc Holliday is. So the man, I'm telling you, I don't know if he's still alive. He may very well be. But he asked me, did I know who Doc Holliday was? So here, Doc Holliday, better known as Doc Holliday, was an American dentist, gambler, and gunfighter who was a close friend of the associate lawman Wyatt Earp. Holliday is best known for his role in events surrounding his participation in the gunfight at OK Corral. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't figure out why that this man had so much interest in me. But he sure did. He let me know he have to be about 80 or so. He said as a child, and I didn't know who Doc Holliday was. Now I know. Well, I ain't concentrating on Doc Holliday right now, but come to find out, okay, Doc Holliday is the cousin of Crawford Long, huh? And may have operated on Doc's cleft lip. So it's saying he is the one that supposedly fixed the cleft lip of his cousin. On October 16th, 1846, unaware of Long's prior work with ether during surgery, William T.G. Morton Salt, I bet. Morton, an American dentist, physician who first publicly demonstrated the use of inhaled ether as surgical anesthetic in 1846. The promotion of his questionable claim to have been the discoverer of the anesthesia became an obsession. Oh, so he what supposedly stole Long's work, administered ether anesthesia before medical audience at Massachusetts General Hospital. I've been there. I've been in Massachusetts General Hospital for blood transfer, a blood transfusion. In Boston, Massachusetts, his work was published in December 1846 issue of Medical Examiner, which alerted Long to this other claim. Furthermore, January 1847 issue of the editorial featured more evidence of this etherization experiment. Although Long had informed several surgical colleagues who had similarly administered ether in their practices and performed 6 additional surgeries since his initial discovery, Morton is generally credited with the first public demonstration of ether anesthesia. After these articles surfaced, Long began documenting the details of his experiments, collecting patient accounts, and notarizing their letters. He reported his findings to the Medical College of Georgia in 1849. System that is the satellite medical campuses in Savannah, Albany, Rome, and Athens. While he was in Augusta, he learned of 2 additional physicians staking an ether claim, Charles Jackson and Horace Wells. It was at this time that his findings were finally published. He addressed the controversy in his first publication. A controversy soon ensued between Mrs. Jackson, Morton, and Well, the misters, in regard to who was entitled to the honor of being the discoverer of the anesthetic powers of ether. And considerable time elapsed before I was able to ascertain the exact period when their first operations were performed. Ascertaining this fact through negligence, I have now permitted a much longer time to elapse than I designed, or than my professional friends with whom I consulted advised. But as no account has been published so far as I have been able to ascertain of the inhalation of ether being used to prevent pain in surgical operations as early as March 1842. My friends think I will be doing myself injustice not to notify my brethren of the medical profession of my priority of the use of either ether by inhalation in, in surgical practice. In 1854, Long requested William Crosby Dawson, a lawyer, judge, politician, and soldier from Georgia, a U.S. Senator, to present his claims of ether anesthesia discovery to the attention of Congress. Despite his extensive petition and documented proof, he never received full credit for his discovery during his lifetime. Long married Caroline. There go Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Wait a minute. Look like I lost something. Long married Caroline Swain in 1842, and together they had 12 children, 7 whom survived to adulthood. So, what, they was losing children? What was he doing research and development on his children? The family moved to Atlanta in 1850, then again to Athens in 1851 to be closer to friends and family. Here, Long and his brother Robert opened a private practice and pharmacy on Broad Street, just across from the campus. During the Civil War, he joined a militia unit in Athens, but was never called to duty. Instead, he served there as a surgeon to soldiers on both sides. He died of a stroke June 16th, 1878, shortly after helping to deliver a baby. He was buried along his side his wife in Oconee Hills Cemetery in Athens, Georgia. Throughout his professional career, Long was strongly convinced of his calling to serve humanity. He said that his profession was a ministry from God. I knew there had to be some type of, okay, ministry from God. Which God, huh? And that his highest ambition was to do good and leave the world better by his labors. Legacy. Long was the first obstetric anesthesiast. In 1845, he had his wife inhale while she was giving birth. Until recently, his practice of using inhalation anesthesia dominated obstetrics. In 1849, Long announced his discovery of in a small localized magazine. However, he did not receive significant recognition until Marion Sims, of a New York surgeon, published the first major article about Long's contribution. Today, the majority of scholars concur that Long performed the first successful surgery using anesthesia. In fact, Long administered ether to 7 patients, none of whom felt any pain during their operations. Several years prior to Morton's 1846 public exposition, one of Long's letters is very revealing as to the origins of Morton's ideas. He wrote, "Permit me to say, wait a minute, permit me to say that a dentist and a surgeon from Boston, Massachusetts were in Jefferson Jackson County in 1842, 3 or 4, and remained for several weeks. The dentist practiced his profession and surgeon operated for strabismus. I have always thought it probable that the dentist was Morton or Wells, and that a knowledge of my use of ether in surgical operations was obtained at the time. I have not be been able to ascertain the name of the dentist. If you know the history of Dr. Wells, you could possibly ascertain sick whether he traveled south at the time mentioned. Reportedly, Long failed to publish his findings until 1849 for 2 reasons. Firstly, he wished to confirm the results of his experiments several times before propagating his ideas. Second, he wished to wait to see if another medical practitioner came forward to counter Morton's claims to discovery, a physician who potentially discovered anesthesia prior to himself. After reading about Morton's demonstration in the Medical Examiner, Long began asking his patients to submit affidavits corroborating his discovery. Long almost certainly discovered the anesthetic powers of ether Long almost certainly discovered the anesthetic powers of ether before Morton demonstrated its ability to dull pain during surgery to the general public, but several other men sought credit for their supposed joint contribution to surgery. The men include Morton, Horace Wells of Hartford, Connecticut, and Charles J. Jackson throughout what became known as the ether controversy. The men vied for a reward of $200,000 from U.S. Congress. Initially, it appears as though they were reluctant to give Long any credit. William Welch reportedly said, "We cannot assign to him any influence upon the historical development of our knowledge of surgical anesthesia or any share in its introduction to the world at large." In 1879, a year after Long's death, the National Electric Medical Association declared that he was an official discoverer of anesthesia. At Long's funeral, Chancellor Andrew Lipscomb said, "Standing here in the presence of his remains, I am this day but the voice of the church, of his professional brethren." Oh, they were church goers, huh? "And of this whole community when I say Dr. Long's death, we have lost an excellent man. He assumed nothing and was thoroughly truthful in his looks, tone, manner, and action. Lived simply, treated everyone courteously, and walked humble before God, modest even to the verge of timidity. He could be stern and bold, utterly forgetful of self. If responsibility had to be met, danger confronted, gentle, forbearing, Faithful to every wise instinct, he kept the covenant of a heart's true love until his days were numbered. He had strength of will and power of endurance, the minor heroisms which make up such so large a share of physician's experience and of the world knows so little, wrote many a paragraph of the annals of his life. We shall give the manly virtues of Christian integrity of Crawford Long a dwelling place where so many of the elect of our life already gathered. So there's his statue, George's tribute, huh? Ether, you nine ether, huh? You six, which ether are you? Etherness of forgiveness. In 1879, National Electrical Medical Association declared Long was the official discoverer of anesthesia. Doctor's Day is celebrated on March 30th every year to commemorate Long's contributions. So, March 30th every year, they celebrate this man name who on the corner of my son's light coated ultrasound photograph. Huh? The University of Pennsylvania memorialized Crawford W. Long in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April 1912, with the Bulletin of the Bronze Medallion, which is what you see in my thumbnail. In August 14, 1920, Georgia state legislator proposed a constitutional amendment to create a new county from the western portions of Liberty County to be named after Long. The amendment creating Long County was ratified November 2nd, 1920. So way after he died, right? They still was honoring him up until this day. Way after he died, they still honoring this man. They have a whole doctor's day. Captain Kirk, I am not a scientist, I am a doctor. Captain Kirk, I am not a cook, I am a doctor. Captain Kirk. The University of Pennsylvania memorialized Crawford W. Long in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April 1912, with a bulletin and bronze medallion. On August 14, 1920, the Georgia state legislature proposed a constitutional amendment to create a new county from the western portions of Liberty County to be named after Long. I apologize, y'all, but it's going to happen. Anything founded with this man's name, because I know deep in my heart, on a spiritual level, it's something that he did that ain't right. Oh, y'all, hold on. The amendment creating Long was ratified November 2nd, 1920. The county seat is Ladoucey. Ladoucey. This is not far from Savannah, is it? Hinesville, Fort Stewart, metropolitan area. So this is where they put Long County. Hinesville. Okay, okay. The Emory University operated Crawford W. Long Hospital in downtown Atlanta. Georgia was named in his honor. Listen, the Emory University operated Crawford W. Long Hospital in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, was named in his honor in 1931 and retained his name for 78 years. Oh, it was still named Crawford Long Hospital. Okay. I had some misinformation. Georgia was named in his honor in 1931 and named for 78 years. Somebody came in and changed this. Let me see when this was last updated. April 18, 2024. Nope. I guess. In 2009, the hospital was renamed Emory University Hospital Midtown. References to Crawford W. Long Memorial Hospital were retained on exterior monuments. Long was honored in the famous American series, oh my goodness, of the postage stamps in 1940 and in post 1978 with a postcard. The Crawford Long Museum of downtown Jefferson County, Georgia, has been in operation since 1957. A monument in honor of Long was unveiled in Jefferson on April 21st, 1910. Anything that has to do with the forgetfulness of beings on this plane is going to crumble. Period. I don't care how they fixed up these stories and made these stories right. I know nothing is a coincidence. And when I went on the site yesterday and studied and looked at Emory Hospital, they said that name had been changed way before 78. It became Emory University way before 2009. So whenever they change the times, if you could turn back time, it's your problem, because I know there's a purpose and a reason for me to just notice this name right here and come to find out this doctor, this good doctor, supposedly good doctor, name all over the place. The statue of Long stands in the crypt of the United States Capitol. There's the crypt. I got your crypto all right. Statue of Long stands in the crypt of the United States Capitol as one of the two designated monuments to represent Georgia in the National Statuary Hall collection. It's only two statues that represent Georgia, and this man name on the corner of my son's light coded photo is there. Yep. Hold on 1 minute. Let me play some music for a moment. I gotta get my balance. Just 1 moment. Come on, King Jesus.
Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them. God's promise, 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 promise. Deep God's promise, 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 promise. Loud for God's mind is my mind, my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Only His ways, oh, ancient of days can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No, no masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my calling. Only His ways, oh ancient of days, can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge, and nothing can separate this love inside. Love inside. No, no masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Only His ways, oh ancient of days, can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side. Nothing can separate this love inside. No, no masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Only His ways, oh, yourself who has been created.
All right. All right, all right, all right. So I'm gonna get off of because that's the end of it anyway. A National Statuary Hall collection. They have two statues there. That's him and his boyfriend, Alexander Stevens. Looked like he was on crack back then. Y'all think crack just came about in the 80s. It looked like he was on crack back then. I wonder who his children is. Which one of the senators that exist today? Let me see. Does it say he was married? Died, his resting place. Where it say? Does it say they rested him next to his wife? Where his parents and Andrew? Let me see. Where it say he married his mother? Mother, he made Stevens 16, 14. Him, his stepmama. Let's see. Let's continue. Ooh. Look, it don't look like ain't nothing in here about no wife. National intelligencer. He was on it. Poverty fed pride, morbid preoccupation within self, robust wealth and tombs. Oh, his money, his face was on a bill. He had his own money. Stevens had his own money. Yep. Look at them boyfriends. President David's cabinet. They the ones that put the hit out on. Dave the one put the hit out on Abraham Lincoln. Look at him. Ew. Kansas and Nebraska. The Missouri Compromise. Yep. Georgia Representative. Mexican American War. The Clayton Compromise. Cooper. Ooh, I don't see nothing about a wife. Him and his boyfriend stand together in Congress. Oh, they not only what they named Crawfordville, Georgia. So this Crawford man who named on my son's what you call it, his boyfriend was born in Crawfordville. Oh yeah, that's right. His boyfriend and his daddy them was best friends or something, right? So Crawford Long boyfriend who stand in the Capitol with him. See, because y'all know they basing a lot of what's going on too in Congress for Sodom and Gomorrah. Uh, later he died in Atlanta. They because remember, um, Crawford kept going back and forth between Athens and stuff, trying to be next to his boyfriend. Talking about he was upstanding, kind, and considerate, and all that. Oh goodness! I'm still looking to see where he talk about his children and his wife. Uh, One of the people gonna be digging you in your behind on your return to forgetfulness. Get left behind if you want to. They put the lovers. His father was the weatherman back then. His father was the meteorologist. His father created the almanac, the Greer's Almanac, Georgian native and sister of Greer's Almanac founder Robert Greer. Died in 1812 age. Alexander Stevens was only 3. He lost his daddy, who was the weatherman. Did he get struck by lightning? Margaret came of folk who was had a liking for books and turned for law, war, and meteorology. His mother, Matilda, died, so his mama died at age 14. He grew up poor in difficult circumstances until he met his boyfriend, Crawford Long. Alexander Stevens, who read voraciously even as a youth, mentions the library in his recollections. He presided over the school in Washington, Georgia, Franklin College. Stevens attended Franklin College in Athens, Georgia, where he was roommates. Again, his boyfriend was Crawford W. Long, member of the Phi Kappa Literary Society. He raised funds for Phi Kappa Hall. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. None of his clients charged with capital crimes were executed. Everybody who did a capital crime, this man here, this drug addict who was Crawford Long's boyfriend, got them off. So see, the injustices of the law and all didn't just start. And they get to stand. Stevens began acquiring land and slaves, huh? He get to stand in the White House to represent Georgia, huh? This man right here stand next to his boyfriend in the, what do they call it? Constructionary Hall. What they call it? The National Statutory Hall, representing Georgia. Alexander Stevens and his boyfriend Crawford Long are the only two people standing there in Washington. That's gonna be the first place uh, the angels step on. That's gonna be one of the first places that stepped and smashed on, right there, right there. Let me show. Oh, I ain't showing it. My bad. I'm not showing what I'm looking at. It's gonna be the first place. Statutory Hall. Huh? What your name doing on my son picture? Let me see where they stand together. The only two representing Georgia. Oh, hold on one moment. All right. Now, so back to them and them. It's going to be the first place Crumble. One of the first places Crumble. Checkered, all these checkered halls is going to crumble. Huh? Now let's talk about ether. Let me go ahead and switch up a little bit and talk about ether and what I found when I went to Federal Register. Remember I told y'all that controls China is over the pesticides. They are the um I just say the head honchos of the pesticide program for United States. They are the representatives of the pesticide program for the United States. And when I typed in ether in the codes that the ether is given, first I typed in the CH2 CH2 dash 0 dash O dash CH2 CH3. And if you could see me, I'm not looking at anything right now. I just memorized it. I memorized it. But when I went and typed that in, it didn't pull up. So I just typed ethyl ether to see how many different chemicals and stuff that they use in it. So some of the most recent up-to-date information in regards to ether in all its different forms. One was released um April 16, 2024, and letting people know about hazardous air pollutants. Got one that was released January, February, March about certain chemicals that would be released and how it would have an effect on man and men and them. The different forms of ether in the sulfuric form, the potassium form, and the controls that China have over it. I went and I did that little bit of research. Here we have June 11th, significant, and this is the most current, up to date, the closest one. New rules on certain chemicals and substances. And remember, I told you that some of this stuff, like, are chemicals that can be found in the scorpion sting. If anybody was here when I did the scorpion sting, and before people are actually put to a point where they destroy, because they don't want to kill you, they need you here to harvest your light. They'll put you to sleep. They'll release the toxins in the air to put you to sleep before they hurt you, before they kill you. Because the Bible says they're not going to kill you. Those who left behind, they're not going to kill you. They're going to torment you. They're going to torment you and you're going to want to die, but you won't be able to die. And how is that going to happen? It can only happen on a conscious level. It can only happen in a level, in a state of mind where you're under anesthesia, in dream realm. So that's all I have to say to that. That's all I have to say. That's all the connection I'm going to make. Because if I stay on this too long, it puts me in a state of flesh and not allowing God, when I know that God already has the perfect solution for everything, and everything is already written on what he said he's going to do. And he is going to keep his promise. He's going to keep his promise and all the things that are written. But I just wanted to see everything is for a reason, for me to notice this name And then when I did the bills about the venoms, the sting of in the venom and forgetfulness, and the studies that what's his name, uh, Elon Musk was doing, and I told y'all they more than likely pretending that these people are remembering or being able to move things with their mind. They pretending that it's a wire in there doing it when they have actually unlocked something in the person's ability to remember and recall, to go into total recall. And it's all connected because the thing that I read to y'all today, the name of it is T- Nicolette. Nicolette. And it's no coincidence that as broke as United States say they are, and as in depth as we supposed to be, that after Elon broke the sound barrier, which is in Revelation, they just gave him 56 billion. 56 billion. Do you know where that puts him in society? He was already like in 46 billion bracket. They just gave him a 50 billion plus X Tesla. So I need to confirm if that 628 date is his date. See, he knows time is winding up too. And he know the scripture better than y'all think he do. He go and he talk to artificial intelligence and question them just like we do. 56 billion. I'm done. I'm done for the night. That's it. Let's see. What was the question I said I was gonna ask? What was I gonna ask? I can't even remember. Total recall. I'm gonna go ahead and take me a break. See y'all tomorrow. I appreciate you coming over here and doing this, going through this research and development with me. Hmm? Again, I didn't know Transylvania was over here. And for those who are again misinformed and think it is a proud thing to be ether, that is a bunch of misinformation. Yeah, we're nine ether beings, nine ether on the state of forgetfulness. Whatever it is in ether that they can utilize to make a man forget, the creators of forgetfulness and being put out during surgery stand in the statutory halls of the United States government. When we didn't lay back for natural birth, we stood up for natural birth. You got to be born again. We stood up for natural birth, had our babies stooped and standing in the natural way, and they make sure you lay back and they put you to sleep. Put you to sleep. Anesthesiology. Some women now, they keep them awake. They just say, we're going to put these chemicals in you just because it helps with a state of forgetfulness in your DNA code. It ain't about not feeling the pain. It's about the state of forgetfulness. Did anybody remember me telling you about the story where they had the two dentists in my mouth and they was trying to put me to sleep? They was trying to inject its anesthesia in me, and my veins kept locking and closing. They went from my in between my fingers. They went looking for veins in my neck. They did like they did my son. Look for the veins in my head. They went all in between my toes trying to inject me with this anesthesia while they was in my mouth, but they had to keep me on laughing gas. They had to keep putting the numbing anesthesia, the localized one, in my gums. And then they had to keep putting laughing gas on me during this surgery. And they had two surgeons in my mouth at the same time. And they pulled the wrong tooth. Yep. Yep. A state of forgiveness. If they could get you to get some type of anesthesia, greater light. Anastasia, huh? Yeah. I gotta watch that and see the connection. I see how I watch something like that. But I'm sure not gonna watch no Lovecraft Country. I tried to watch it, Latrell Well, but I couldn't watch it. Greater light.